On today's episode of Living Testimony, we gonna walk you down through there with patches the dread. Don't miss it.
Next time you see him, nigga, walk.
Testimony, patches the dread. We gonna walk you down through there with patches the dread. Don't miss it. We are back in the Love Deposit Studios with Living Testimony. I have with me today someone that I've heard in my cassette tape player, in my CD player, and a name that may be familiar to a lot of you. Man, I am honored to have Mr. Jim, Mr. Ag Blackburn in the building. How you doing today, brother?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, listen, on Living Testimony, I just walk you through and ask a few questions, and it's just a guide.
Right.
And what you tell me, I go with. So whatever you feel comfortable with. So I'll start by asking you this. What neighborhood are you from?
Well, born in Portland, started out in Arlington Park. Mom and them moved to Wilma Hutch, out for Tioga, Palm Island in the street we lived on, and we wound up in Oak Cliff by the time I was 13 or 14. So Oak Cliff was the finishing point for me.
Okay, so you ran the gambit. You lived in a couple of neighborhoods around the town. Okay. So tell me, what was your family dynamic? Any siblings?
Yeah, I got an older brother, got a younger sister, and my dad wound up having 2 or 3 more daughters when him and my mom got divorced.
Okay. So, rather large family. Parents got divorced. Was this early?
Early, yeah.
Okay.
I was probably in junior high when he got divorced.
Okay. And were you in Oak Cliff at that time, or were you in another neighborhood?
Oak Cliff at that time. Oak Cliff was where the divorce finally happened, but they had been having issues from the time. I can't say because I didn't know I was young, but I remember toward the end, we were in Oak Cliff when they finally divorced.
Okay. So what impact did that have on you and your siblings?
Well, I can't speak on them. For me, I was happy. I was happy. It's only so much you can see 2 grown people fighting and you a kid, and you can't do nothing about it. And you don't really know what's going on because that's grown folks' business. But you get tired of seeing mama crying. You get tired of seeing daddy angry. So when they parted ways, it was a relief.
So when you say fighting, are you talking about the fighting that is a verbal altercation?
No,
or are you talking about physical?
I'm talking about fighting, man.
Oh.
Yeah. Me and my dad probably went 6 or 7 years without talking, and he's never lived more than 20 miles away from me. But right now, we cool. The older I get, the better I understood. I could look at it from a man's point of view when I became a man. You can't expect a child to look at a grown folk situation and understand. I was just hurt that the fact that 2 people I love was hurting each other.
Yeah.
So when it stopped, it was a relief.
So did you feel like you came from a broken home?
I wouldn't say, I can't say that, man, because I was always, my mama made sure we always felt loved. And like, my mom, the kind of lady, she never talked bad about my dad, dude. She never put bad stuff in our heads about him. But when you a parent and you promising your kids something and you not coming through with your promises, children know. So it ain't like when I was young, I might have hated my dad, I'm not gonna lie. That's why I went out of music without speaking to him. But I knew, you say you know somebody love you, but they can't get themselves right in order to do what they need to do by you. And I'm, like I told him before, I'm your son. You're not my son. I'm named after you. So I can't, I wasn't built to chase people down for their love. I learned to do without and just keep it moving.
So there's a saying, and I find it to be true. Hurt people hurt people.
Yep. That's true.
So your parents break up. You're in middle school. What middle school was that?
I went to T.W. Brown.
T.W. Brown?
T.W. Brown.
Hold on, let me rewind the tape because that's my alma mater. What elementary school did you go to?
Went to John W. Carpenter.
That's my
Right
elementary
across from
school.
Buck.
Hold on now.
Right across from Bishop Dunn.
So I would assume that we're from a similar generation and time.
Yeah,
So you may know some names like
yeah.
Sigmund and Dirty Charles.
Heard the name, yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. So let's walk through there. When you were at John W. Carpenter, did you have C.C. Bennett as a principal?
I can't remember the principal, man. I really can't.
African American lady?
Might have been, might have been.
Okay, okay. So when you got to T.W. Brown, what was it like?
Man, it was cool, man. I'm like LaBelle, my boy LaBelle, and I'm a clown, but what's a trip about me, and we'll get to that on down the road, cats who knew me would never score or play the dozen with me because when I speak, I was stutter back then. I had a real bad speech impediment.
Okay.
So I can be in public speaking, I can't read a chapter. But if you make fun of me, as soon as we hit that hallway, I'm on you. I'm on you. I figured out the order scoring a long time ago from watching my brother and them do it.
Okay.
The key to it is, if I can take my words and piss you off, dude, I done already won. I started apologizing just to piss you off even more. So, I learned from some of the best, man.
Okay. So you're at T.W. Brown.
Yeah.
You figured out
football in the front of the school. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, grass stain.
Yes, sir. Yeah, all that.
School.
All that.
So, I went to that school, man. It was a pretty rough place. And one of my brothers, he told me, he said, man, when you get there, you're going to be a man or you're going to be a punk.
Yeah.
He said, it's boys taking your nickel. Yeah. It's people taking your hat. And it's even folks taking your shoes.
Yeah.
He said, you're going to have to stay down.
Yeah.
So tell me what it was like for you.
It was really cool for me, man, because the Lord always blessed me to be around somebody to get some good information. Now, my homeboy Mark Fedley, we call him Mass. I remember his daddy told us specifically, I don't want you boys out there being thuggish doing all that there, man. But make sure you know the thugs. Ain't nothing wrong with knowing everybody. So that way, just because you know them don't mean you know what they doing, but you rather know some folks than not know nobody. So I never had any major problems, man. I never did.
Okay. So how many high schools did you go to?
Just one, Kimball.
Justin F. Kimball.
Yeah.
All right.
88.
88, okay. Now you speaking years that I recall. So what was Justin F. Kimball like in 88?
Man, I call it the pre-metal detector years. I can't say my generation brought it through, but them little niggas right behind us, they came on with it, man. I mean, I remember, I'm from and you're gonna laugh when I say this, I remember the snakeskin boots, earskin boots.
Yeah, buddy.
The Guess jeans, the Guess leave overall,
Yep.
the Neiman Marcus cap.
Yeah.
I'm from that generation.
Yeah, the clean
I'm from
cats.
cats. Yeah, man. Back when cats was getting whooped for their chains and their boots, you was right. Cats was getting their boots and chains snapped. I remember I had to double check with my man over here. I remember my partner, A-Baby.
I know that name.
Getting they minks took at a football game. And if I'm not mistaken, the boys went up the side with some heat and got their coats back, man. That's how wild it was back then.
And hold up, I'm going to rewind that because he said that in a very cavalier manner. He said, I remember some high school kids.
Yeah.
He mentioned a name that I'm familiar with, A-Baby.
Yeah, that's
Got
my boy.
some mink coats
Yeah.
taken, and they had to go and get some get back. Wow, as teenagers.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was like that, man. It was wild, dude. I remember, man, me and my boy B, I get to be insane in a minute. That was a DJ on Capital Punishment. Me and B spent more time together from 87 to 93, more than I did with my family. We was together night and day, man. We was just out there.
So you used to ride in the Mustang?
Yeah. I had a Mustang on my own, kept it running every now and then, but I'd mess up engine, mess up some. And me and B would be in his all the time. He had a couple of different ones, but the purple one with being insane on the back window, that was the ride back then, man. We had the Daytons and all that.
Yeah,
There's a story behind everything, but we could roll Ledbetter, anywhere in Dallas in that car, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning with the top down. Boy, there wasn't nobody taking that car. We was gonna die. Now, man. That was the mentality.
I remember that car. Yeah. And that car used to ride from side to side, for sure.
Sir.
For sure. So tell me this. So we go through Kimball.
Right.
And what you're painting is, you're painting a narrative or a time frame and time stamping it, I'll say in the, mid to late 80s, post kind of, not really post, but in the midst of the crack era. So there's drugs being sold.
Oh, yeah.
There's dudes balling. There's guys pulling up in Cadillacs.
Yeah.
Huge dookie chains. Link chains.
All that.
Rings on every finger.
All that.
And running things like they grown men around town.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Well, if you from the hood, like I know you from the hood, I'm going to tell you a saying you ain't heard in a long time. If you out on Cliff back then, nigga, you either pumping or cranking. You know what they meant, pumping or cranking. You doing one of the two, you pumping or cranking. I wasn't pumping, we was cranking.
So for those that don't understand, pumping has its own meaning, and it was our way of saying we were slanging, we were selling dope. When we talk about cranking, tell us what that means.
Cranking, you in the car game.
That's right. That's right.
You in the car game.
And he's talking about Dayton's. I'm talking about Trues and Vogues. I'm talking about McLean's.
I go old school with you, 928s,
928s.
Centerline.
Centerline. Listen, for those who don't know, and I'm going to have them walk us through there, it was dangerous, man. When we made it to crack era, we had our Jamaican posse era. We had a lot of shootings and stuff. But, man, Keith's Park was live. They talked about Bachman. But Camp Wisdom.
That was it, boy.
Man.
The races on Wheeling.
Races on
All
Wheeling.
that.
Oh, yeah. So those were the glory days.
Yeah.
Man, when I look at the top of your head, you have something that says Oak Cliff. It doesn't say Oak Cliff.
Oak Cliff.
And the reason it stands out to me is because for those of us who are from the neighborhood, who don't necessarily articulate properly or want to.
Yeah.
That's how it's said, Oak Cliff.
Oak Cliff.
I'm from Oak Cliff. We're not saying I'm from Oak Cliff. We say I'm from Oak Cliff.
Oak Cliff.
So we educated you on that. And now you educate me on this. You get out of high school. What do you do next?
You want to know the truth?
Yes, sir.
Walk you through the truth. I got out of school with no plan, no money, and a lot of time on my hands. I actually went to ATI for painting body.
Okay.
So, but I can't blame, at the time I used to blame folks, but I met more hustlers in trade school than I know on the streets.
Okay.
So, we paint Mustangs, IROCs up at ATI. Steering column broke, we got them in the painting bad boy. Driving it to the house like it ain't no big deal, man. So it's like you go trying to get a skill, but if your mind ain't right and your plan ain't right and you ain't got, I was raised in church, but to know the Lord and to love the Lord are two different things. So, I didn't have my head right, man.
Man, listen here. You just said a mouthful and you spoke to the hearts and minds of individuals. Now, you basically said you can be in the vicinity or the area of people that are doing good, or they can be wealthy, or they can be educated or seeking education. But if your heart ain't right and you're not actively seeking the right thing, it don't matter.
It don't matter. It don't matter. And like I said, that time, what really, the capital punishment thing was starting to pop, but we was hustling cars, painting cars. If you needed this, that for your Mustang or whatever, we take our bed. We just into a lot of different things. And the thing about it is, all my real partners, our mamas and them never really knew what we was into, man. They just knew we was out in the streets. Mama see something new pop up on the car. But yeah, Mama, Joe Blow paid me because, I painted this car. That's where I got these rims from. So, and my real buddies knew when you hit Mama Street, turn the music down.
Okay.
See, we was respectful. It was a different era back then in the world. We were icebox homeboys. I can go in your mama icebox. You can go in my mama icebox. You know Wednesday's taco night in my mama house. That kind of thing. So you know what I'm saying? We had a friendship. Cats might have knew Mr. Ag. They might have knew Ben Sane. They didn't know Jim Blackburn and Benny Johnson.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? I knew Benny Johnson. We was the Atari boys, up night playing Atari, this and that.
Yeah.
But then it was something about them streets. Once you got your nickname or your moniker, whatever you want to call it, you made them see that.
Okay.
You see?
Okay.
And like I say, it was just different back then, man. But I was what you would call, I always said a hustler's mentality. If we can pull some money out of something, I don't care what it is, we gonna get that dollar. I don't talk about Crips and Bloods. I don't know nothing about that.
Okay.
I pray for them youngsters. I was hooked on green. I came up around at Keystone Pope, all that, man, actually Point Ridge and all that, New Orleans boys.
Yeah.
And I never came across as a tough thug individual or nothing like that. But when it came to me and B doing our thing, man, we done our thing.
All right. So let's walk down through that then. So you mentioned about 3 times a name called Lavelle Pope. And you said, my buddy Lavelle Pope, my buddy Lavelle Pope, my buddy Lavelle Pope. And I've recently talked to a guy that they call Picture Freak, and I think he goes by Lavelle Pope. He introduced us, and he made me remember you by a name called Capital Punishment.
Yeah.
And he also mentioned the name Be Insane a couple of times. Tell me about that.
All right, Capital Punishment, we started in, I want to say we did the Capital Punishment thing around the last year in school and got serious with it. My homeboy B was the DJ, I was the rapper. My partner Mark, he was a part of it, not really hype, man. He was doing his own rap thing as well. Then our homeboy A-Baby, he was the benefactor.
Okay.
He was, you know what I'm saying? The cassettes that got pressed up, he was part of the first pressing and all that, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So while we was doing that, we messed around. Well, B messed around, the guy that done the music back then, Big Strat. B met him at the post office. Benny never worked a job, B never worked a job. His mama got him on at the post office.
Okay.
He worked 1 or 2 weeks, met the dude that started doing our music, and he quit. So that's how we hooked up with Big Strat.
So A-Baby was your financier.
A-Baby was a high school friend, but it just, you know what I mean?
Okay, and so it sounds more like the NWA Eazy-E thing because he saw some talent in you guys. You got in the right place at the right moment and, you know, and you made it happen.
Yeah.
So how long was your run?
I want to say for about, with that first album, maybe 2 years, man, because see, we did some shows. We opened up for MC Breed, opened up for the Ghetto Boys, done some down in Jackson, Mississippi with Luke and them.
Okay.
We was doing a little something, but what was messed up about it is I didn't understand at the time we was doing it. It's called show business.
Okay.
I had the show down.
But not the
I
business.
didn't have the business down. And see, I'm older now. I tell any youngster, this was pre-Instagram and all that. You can't rap about it and do it. You cannot rap about it and do it. See, I was rapping about it and doing it. When we was talking about hustles and this and that, we was out there getting it, man. And I wasn't major, nothing like that. I was just active in the streets. I knew cats behind paint cards from West Dallas, Pleasant Grove, this and that, yada, yada. Not that I hung in the hoods, but when you paint like we was painting, my homeboy TJ, hey, man, you met people. As a matter of fact, tell you a funny quick story. It saved me the first time I went to Government Center. I fell up in the West Dallas tank. I'm from Oak Cliff. These cats walking around with WD burns in their chest. I eased over to the phone. I was already on probation. I didn't give a damn. Say, Mama, y'all need to come get me. Yeah, okay. All right, Mama, thank you. I slid back over there. They sent a dude to check me. Not in a bad way, just kind of get a feel for me. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm from Oak Cliff, dog. Say, yada, yada, yada. I started talking about cars. Say, look out, these the nigga that painted what's his name. Said nigga would never tell us who painted this car, man. It was cool then.
Okay.
I said it's good to know folks.
Yes,
See what
sir.
I'm saying?
That's
Back
dope.
then, West Dallas was a totally different monster.
Yeah.
I was out by sundown. I don't care who I knew.
Yeah. West Dallas, I went to the boys club, spent my share of time over there, and you're absolutely right.
It was a different bus.
A West Dallas cat, and I know it's gonna be some people mad at me, but South Dallas had its thing. Oak
Yeah.
Cliff had its thing.
Right.
East Dallas had its thing. But I felt like West Dallas was hungry. Like they was starving. And you can have friends, legitimate
Right.
friends over there in the projects, Crosshaven, whatever it is. But you're right.
You gotta know.
Two things gonna happen.
Yep.
You pull up in them projects, you don't know nobody, they gonna start coming, boys gonna start coming around that corner. And it's the fact. It's the South Bronx of Dallas.
Right. Then I'm gonna tell you something you probably didn't know about West Dallas.
Okay.
I found out till I got older.
Okay.
A lot of them cats was from Louisiana.
Mm.
I used to wonder why some of the cats I knew hung down at the roping pen. I know you're familiar with the cats ride horses, do all that. They was country boys.
Mm.
But they didn't play.
They didn't play. Rupert Circle. No, they didn't play. I mean, West Dallas cats, they got some real cats. Oak Cliff got some real cats.
Yeah.
But thank you for sharing that and walking us through that, because that was a good story. Now, tell me this. You dropped the album, 2 years go by.
Right.
People know the cars.
Right.
You're in the cranking game. You're changing colors on those cars. The rims are clean.
Right.
What happens next?
Well, them 2 years we doing shows, going to Jack the Rappers, doing all that, man, I just didn't have my head in the business.
Mm.
I was still having fun in the streets.
That part.
That part. See, how is it that, and this is when I figured it out, because I did get locked up, I think it was 90 and 91. And I wasn't a major player. But here's how you know you messing up and how you know you ignorant. The last time I went, the bailiff told me no bail set. I had to lean over there and somebody would tell me, man, even if your people got the money, they ain't gonna let you go home. I said, what? I said, I didn't know. I caught a case while I already had a couple of cases waiting on me. So I'm still continuously messing up. I said, nah, we ain't gonna let you go home. You gotta sit till you go to court.
So were these grand larceny? I mean, what were these cases?
They would just do crimes against property, put it like that. But when they write it up, it looked like you a major
Figure.
Yeah, you're a major figure. You think about the average car back then, whether Mustang, IROC, whatever, 20 to 50,000. You got theft over 20,000, no higher than 50. Theft over 20,000, no higher than 50. We come up on the lick. Theft over 80,000, no higher than 120,000. That's a race car.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? But when they write it up, they don't detail it out. The paperwork looks bad, and it makes it look like, oh, this nigga just been stealing thousands of dollars. That wasn't the case. You know, people, I'll put it like this. We knew people like this, and we all do. Convenient sin is how people live. See, little Bobby, your son, he gay, he going to hell. Well, what about little Tommy? He done fathered 2 outside kids, but little Tommy ain't gay. See, sin is sin, man. See, we have convenient sin, dude, and we deal with them people every day. You didn't steal the big screen TV, but you bought it.
Man.
Then you went to church and you praised the Lord and act like you ain't done nothing wrong. See what I'm saying?
Hey, man, you going to shut them down. They say a hurt dog holler.
Now, I was raised in church, man, so I knew right from wrong, but when you don't have a plan in life, you got a lot of time, you ain't got a lot of money. So you gonna do some things, man. And like I say, B wound up dying in 95.
I remember that.
Yeah, he died in 95. And the thing about it is, he was supposed to have died a year before that, but it was a dude calling himself Baby being insane. We found that out. Now, not too many people that knew me and B knew we fell out 2 years before he died. But this is why we fell out. I told him I couldn't do it no more, dude. I said, they from the tip of my fingers to my elbows, they know who I am, man. And see, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. See, I can tell you where the FBI building is down in Deep Ellum. It ain't got a name on it. See, as a matter of fact, both be parents were police officers. Number one, I didn't tell you that. Mom and dad was police officers. They had been on the force forever. And I mean, good people, man. I mean, his mama treated me like a son, my mama treated him like a son. But we were just into what we was into. And It was funny because he used to tell me all the time, it's the right way to do wrong.
Mm.
And it's kind of jacked up to say, but to an extent he was right. But then as I got older, I understood why I never got into pumping. See, a lot of people don't know their limitations.
Yeah.
I'm a people person to an extent, but there is not a right way to do it.
Mm.
If you flamboyant and flashy, young people gonna hate you. If you cool, calm, laid back, you the cat with the regular car, everybody know you stacking this paper.
Mm.
Somebody still gonna wanna get you.
Yeah.
See, I don't like dealing with people like that.
Mm.
From the fiends, to the laws, to your friends, to your little side pieces, somebody gonna get you, man.
Mm.
Everybody got an ulterior motive behind their actions.
We used to say, "Don't slip. If you slip, I'm gonna get you."
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the words, man. That was wise. And so I'm looking at this, man, and I want to follow up on being sane's
Right.
death, but before I do so,
Okay.
you brought a prop in here today that I'd like to explore.
Right.
Now I can't see it on camera now, so could you grab that? Hey, man. So censor that for me, and then tell me what I'm looking at.
All right, what you looking at, that Capital Punishment album, that was first, that was 91. We were on, we got I don't know if it was a production deal or what, with rap by way of, I believe it was called Ichiban.
Ichiban Records.
Okay. Now, that came out now, 95, 96, I was supposed to drop the Mr. Ag album
Okay.
on L Entertainment.
Okay.
Okay, we recorded it, and the cat that was funding it straight up told me he couldn't do nothing with it. Because, see, the Capital Punishment was done, I can't say with hating, well, yeah, with hating my heart toward other people.
Okay.
This was a wake-up call where I was understanding my role in my life.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was understanding what I was doing wrong.
Mm.
But, like you know, Mr. Pope said, if you listen to it, you'll understand. It's like a buddy talking to you.
Yeah.
Who been down the same road you going down. Now, the Hood Hero album was done with some cats, KB, and another guy named Royale.
Okay.
But the killing part about that is my buddy Scoop put that project together, and Hood Heroes is the name of a song on the Ag album that he really liked.
Okay.
So, but when we recorded that, we never met each other. We never met each other.
Mm.
I knew KB, Scoop was KB brother. So I would go in, record, Royale would come in, record, KB would come in, record. We all had different schedules doing different stuff, so we never met each other while we were recording. But somehow we got it done. But those are some promo pictures of, that's B with the mask on, that's me, A-Baby, Mark, Massa, and the same, that's over there for 8th Street.
Yep.
Down the road from where the probation
Yeah,
office used
yeah,
to be. They tore
yeah.
that building down.
Okay.
Yep.
I know that area
Yep.
very well. That's dope, man. That's
Appreciate
dope.
it. Yeah. And that newspaper clipping was back in '87.
Wow.
When we was having a talent show, I just got into rapping. And only my friends know this about me. This is what rapping did for me. I used to stutter when I was a youngster.
Mm-hmm.
Had a real bad speech impediment. So my homeboy Derrick Jones, we called him Icy D at the time. He brought a Run DMC album through, and the rest is history. Rapping taught me how to speak, to where I mentally speak on beat now. Even when I'm not rapping, it's breath control. So that's what it done for me. That's how I will always love rapping.
That's dope.
And it's just a trip, man. But like I say, me and B, I know why we fell out. It's like your best friend telling you he can't do something no more. Well, me and you ain't never got it none, dog. When we together, we winning. See, when you mess with them outside cats,
Yeah.
that's when all it come. But I was tired.
Yeah.
I was tired of going to jail every other month, man. And like I said, I went major. Somebody told me if we had a couple $1,000 in our pockets or something like that, dating wheels, candy paint, fresh set, man, I was cool, man. We gonna go kick it at the club and, you know, we gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
And that was the deal. That was just, we didn't have no long-term goals, no plans, no great expectations.
Okay.
I just had to look clean, new pair of kicks, nice little fit. I'm good, got a little bread in my pocket. We
Okay.
winning, dog.
Okay. Hey, man. Now, I don't remember. I remember when being saying that. I don't remember how.
Well, he spoke something into existence that's true to this day. He said, when I leave, man, ain't nobody gonna know the real deal. Now, I'm not gonna speak on, well, I can speak on it, but I'm truly on the outside looking in.
Okay.
The people that was involved, we all went to school together. We knew each other. That's why it was so odd. But on the day they buried B, they buried old boy too. And that was the first time I'd ever rode down Ledbetter, headed toward Laurel Land, made every light. But what was so eerie, when they was putting B in the ground, they was putting old boy in the ground on the other side over there. We could all see each other. We could all see each other. The services were going on at the same time. And that broke my heart, because we all got people we care about, but have you ever looked at somebody in a casket, man, and you truly wonder how?
Take your time, brother.
You wonder how did they get there? It had already been a wrap for me. I'd already started changing, going through the trend. So you might have to get some water.
Man, I lost a dear friend around that same time. And a buddy of mine, he wrote a song about it. He had a lyric. And he said, I looked at my brother getting put into the ground. He said, going so fast that he couldn't slow down. And it's kind of the life that you're kind of describing to me. You know, it's
Right.
the glitz and the glamour and the flash and the girls and just moving fast,
Yep.
man. And it's like a car going out of control.
Right.
So I get what you're talking
Right.
about.
And see, I understand now that everybody got a transitioning period. See, the only time a mistake is bad to me is when you don't learn from it. So I still took something from my homeboy life. You know, I learned from his mistakes. He had kids, man. Kids don't change people, man. You who you are. But I never lost that hustler's mentality. Till this day, I'm about getting it. But this is why I know the Lord got an awesome sense of humor, man. Rolling back then, riding, got me in trouble. I drive for a living now. You tell me the Lord ain't got a sense of humor. But when I caught my case, it was a trip. I wound up going to boot camp.
Okay.
I was gone with the county boot camp, gone for almost about a year. Came home, I never looked back. I understood my small choices in life, how they mattered. Pancakes, frosted flakes, or toast. You don't get that down there.
Pancakes,
You know,
frosted flakes, or toast.
if you can't deal with the small choices, if you don't respect the small choices, you're not gonna make it to the bigger choices in life, man. If you don't appreciate every choice you have out here, that's what I got from my little incarceration stint. And I met a guy named Red in the government center, man. Dude told me something that stuck with me forever. And I never forget, when I was catching the train, about to go down to diagnostics, all that good stuff, he said, say, look out, youngster. I said, what's up, Red? He said, man, I'm gonna tell you this, and I mean this from the heart. The penitentiary don't make men. And the penitentiary don't make homosexuals. But it exploits both of them. It took me a while to understand what he was telling me. You are who you are when you hit that thing, man. Whatever you are, they're gonna find a way to bring it out. Now, if you carry yourself like a straight up G and you're a man, that can get you in trouble too. Because things you should let make it, you're not gonna let it make it. So you're gonna be catching time while you're doing time.
Okay.
Now, see, if you got that other thing up in you, ain't nobody got to put a hand on you. I said to myself, a grown man get talked out of his manhood.
Talked out of it.
Talked out of it. Not beat up, not beat down, not stabbed, not cut. Conversated out of it. They seen that in that man. See, the penitentiary is like anywhere else, man. It's full of bullies. Life in general is full of bullies. But bullies want to mess with victims. They don't want to mess with somebody who can fight back. Well, yeah, you might be able to whoop Wayne, but Wayne gonna mess up one of your eyes. I'm not gonna deal with Wayne today. I'm gonna go deal with Stacy. Stacy ain't gonna fight back. You see what I'm saying? Stacy's scared to get hit. And I learned, and when I went, man, I might have been a buck 20, a buck 30. I was a little bitty dude, man. And I seen cats down there, arms bigger than my chest. And I know in my heart, I don't know how, y'all just gonna feel on it, but I'm gonna tell the truth. I see some cats who don't never, ever, 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 ever need to get up out of there because it's mental. Once that mental is gone, you can't function out here, man. You gonna hurt somebody. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying as a black man, I wish everybody could be free. But that's not the case. You got some people who need to be incarcerated to survive. They can't do it out here.
Dang. Hey, man, I ain't never heard that one, but I'll tell you what. I don't ever mention this guy's name, but I'm going to bring up his name today. There's a guy, internet sensation. Name starts with a C, ends with a W. And he feels like every or most black men should go to prison so they can learn to be a man.
No, the penitentiary don't make men. See, man, you know what? We be here forever, but I'm going to tell you, I used to say all white folks. It's not that. When you got your own government working against a group of people, and then turn around, I'm going to ask you a question I ask people all the time. If I decide that I'm not going to work for nobody, I'm going to get out here and hustle. They're going to talk about me. I'm going to catch these felonies. But if I go out here and I play by the rules, and I do better for myself, and I move in a better community, you get out of my hood, nigga, we don't want you here. So what do I do as a black man in America? If I do it right, you're going to talk bad about me. If I do it wrong, you're going to talk bad about me. If I can't find a place here, where am I supposed to go, what I'm supposed to do? Don't we all dream of having a better life, a better quality of life? You see what I'm saying? And I'm not saying I'm not going to sit here and tell you all black people good and all white folks bad. Because since I've been in transportation, the reason I got to where I am right now is because of my Caucasian brothers. They the only people that would give me good information about the business. See, people that look like me want to see me doing good, just not better than them.
So I'll tell you this. Before I come to a close, I've wrestled with the fact, and it hit me. It was just 2 days ago, I promise. It was 2 days ago. I was in the mirror getting dressed for an interview. And it came across my mind, this saying that it's been drilled in my head since I was a kid. But not from my mom or my dad, just from family, friends, and people from the neighborhood. But they used to say, man, one, don't do business with family.
Right.
Don't do business with friends. And black folks. And it made me wonder, because right now I'm doing a lot of collaboration with black people and family and friends. And I was watching something, and I was looking at the Asian market. And I was looking how people pass their businesses down to family. I've traveled the world, and I was looking at how Hispanics in different communities, whether it's South America, whether it's Spain, whatever, they're passing things to family and friends. They can occupy a home together. I was looking at Eastern Asians, Indians, so forth and so on. So where does that saying come from? What does it mean? Is it only related to black people?
No, it's a myth. See, we believe the lies, man. We believe the lies. And the thing about it is, we're not all, if you just stop to talk to folks, man, you'll trip out to see that we all on the same page. I don't care what walk of life you came from, this and that, but if you don't read, like they say, the quickest way, if you want to have some money at home, man, hollow out a book and put your money in the book. They say blacks don't read. We don't read. That's a lie. But we believe these lies. We believe these stereotypes. And we get to a point to where, but I'll tell you what it is, why it's hard for us to work with each other. I ain't going to call no names. I've been commercially driving since '95. I had a person call me, say, man, I'm interested in trying to get a truck, big dog. You think you could tell me the ins and outs, this and that? I'm like, really, dog? Yeah, man, I'm trying to. It's like I was gonna break down 5 years of being an owner operator and one
Sitting.
and on top of that, I had this other cat I know said he was trying to mentor this youngster. The dude wanted to go out to eat. Not take him out to eat, but go out to eat. You want me to do all the giving, you do all in the taking, but you not giving nothing back. See, it's mutual respect. I'm willing to help anybody who will listen, but it wasn't given to me for free. I earned it. First truck I drove, I was making minimum wage. Now you think about that. Candy paint, rims, music, Recaro seats, all that good stuff back in the day. Now I'm trying to catch a ride to work. Now I'm trying to get back and forth to work, this and that, I'm making minimum wage. But I tell anybody listening, if you got a good, solid family situation behind you, I got the same girl I had back then as I got now. My mama, my mom-in-law, these ladies have been intricate in me becoming who I am.
Okay.
So I no longer have the mentality I had back then. I understand my role in my life. You ever see a big blue 2017 Freightliner going down the road with the word blessed on the back of it? That's me.
Okay.
I'm blessed.
Okay.
I made it through the storm. I understand. I don't blame Pookie and them no more. See, I understood it was my choice to get down with the get down. It's on me. But
That's on me, baby.
But I'm gonna leave with a joke. I'm like my buddy Poke over there. If somebody helped me invent this multi-billion-dollar invention, we can all get money from it. I'm trying to come up with a flashlight. When you point it at somebody, it'll tell you the ingredients of them. 20% loyalty, 30% snitch. He will testify 100%. If I could invent that, we all get paid, man. But you don't know, you think you know people until they're put in certain situations. When it's time to do for self, say the hardest dude on the block gonna snitch. Snitching and telling are two different things. If we hustling together, dude, you snitching. If we just happen to get saw doing the wrong thing at the wrong time, they're testifying. They're civilians. They don't have nothing to do with what we doing. We messed up.
Yeah.
But I don't, like I say, man, when you change the way you think and you simplify your life, and like I say, God is good all the time.
All the time.
But we got to understand it's that transition period you go through. You can't stand in the middle of your trap house and say, man, we're going to start out with a prayer. Lord, don't let us get kicked in. No, it don't work like that, homie. You in the middle of sinning and you asking him to protect you through this sin. It don't work like that. Now, after you get jammed up, you get to look back at him, you start making your changes. He don't leave us. We leave him. Adam and Eve ate from the tree. God came back and said, what, why y'all hiding from me? He wasn't hiding from them. We mess up like little kids and we turn our backs from the Lord, man. We embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing, man. But I can't sit here and preach to nobody. I will do you one, though. Here's my testimony. When I'm talking to young cats, I don't talk to them about what they doing. I say, be careful, man. Say, somebody love you out here, man. I know somebody do that. Just be careful. See, nobody wants to be told what to do. We didn't want to be told what to do.
Absolutely.
So, but if I could show you I care enough to tell you to be careful, at least I got your attention. Make you think about it.
All right. Listen, man, this has been a great conversation. I've enjoyed it more than I even thought that I would. Man, we're in the Love Deposit Studios, and this has been Living Testimony with Patches the Dread, and we appreciate our guest, Mr. Jim, Mr. Ag Blackburn, for joining us on the show today.
Thank you much. Thank you for having me.